Recording in progress.
Which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please take the roll? Come on in.
Councilmember Wood,
Here.
Councilmember Richardson, Councilmember Crossman,
Here.
Councilmember Smith, here, Councilmember Hess, Councilmember Palmer,
Present.
Councilmember Kaminsky, here, Mayor DePinto.
Here. All right, can we get an agenda approval? Councilmember Hess.
Prior to approving the agenda, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to bring the confirmation of Mayor DePinto's appointments to the advisory boards and commissions back from the table and place it in old business.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Councilmember Palmer. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. We'll add that under old business. All right, Councilmember Hess.
I'd like to move that we approve the agenda with the new business, with the amendment old business.
Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Smith. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to special presentations. There's none scheduled. Moving on to public comment. If anyone from the public wishes to speak, please just fill out a card. If you haven't filled out a card yet and you still want to speak, go ahead and do that after you speak. Is there anyone from the public that wants to address council and myself? All right. Is there anyone online that wishes to testify?
We do not have any hands raised.
All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. We have the December 12th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Or excuse me, I'll wait for a motion. Councilmember Hess.
I'd like to move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Kaminsky. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Carries. Moving on to new business. Under 6A, interlocal agreement for critical area permit processing, State Route 510, Yelm Phase 2. Pat.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and Council. At least one new face to me. I'm Pat Hughes, City Engineer, and I'm bringing to you tonight a interlocal agreement for critical area permitting. This is for the Yelm Loop Phase 2 project. The last I've heard still is that this is going to advertisement and bidding for construction in January of 25. But as part of that, there's going to be quite a bit of permits that are going to need to be reviewed and issued. One of those are critical area permitting. What are critical areas? Those are things like wetlands, floodplains, endangered protected tree species, and so on. The trouble with this project is that Yelm Loop Phase 2, its corridor leaves the city, goes into the UGA, into the county, back inside the city limits, back out again, and finally back into the city limits down near Walmart. So it's going to be a difficult project to permit with the various agencies. So with that in mind, Thurston County has agreed to have the city serve as the lead agency for review and issuance of critical area permits. So we drafted a interlocal agreement, which basically says that. So tonight, I'm just bringing this to you and a copy of that was in your packet. But if you've got any specific questions about how that works, I'd try to answer those for you, but I'm just looking for a motion to approve that.
Councilmember Hess.
Quick question in reference to it, just for clarity. When this is agreed upon, it's all permits will be coming through the city, and the city is the approval authority of those permits, and there's no need for it to go to county itself. Is that correct?
That is correct, but remember, not all permits. This is just specifically for critical area permitting, and it's specifically outlined in the.
Any other questions, comments? Councilmember Wood.
I move we authorize Mayor DePinto to enter into an interlocal agreement between the city of Yelm and Thurston County for critical area permit processing for the State Route 510 / Yelm Loop Phase 2 project.
Second.
Councilmember Crossman, second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. It carries.
Council?
All righty. Moving on, next item. Moving on to item B, 6B, election of mayor pro tem. Every 2 years, we elect a new mayor pro tem. We take a nomination. If someone wishes to be nominated, someone else has to nominate you. Get a second, you can do a second. Discussion, you vote on it, majority vote, four yeas, and you're the mayor pro tem. Any discussion? Any nominations? Councilmember Smith.
I'd like to nominate Joshua Crossman.
Second that.
Is there any discussion? There's been a motion second for Crossman to be the mayor pro tem. Any discussion? Councilmember Wood.
I have another nomination. I'd like to nominate Terry Kaminsky.
Is there a second? Well,
I second myself. I'll second that.
I would hope so. I mean, you know.
Let me take this back real fast. There's been a motion already in a second. I believe we have to go through the motion for that first one. Is that correct? So I apologize. If this council following me, because we went through a motion and it's been seconded. We have to have discussion on this. We either have to vote it up or down, and then we can move on to another. Okay, so we're still on for Councilmember Crossman, who's been nominated by Councilmember Smith, and second by Councilmember Richardson. Is there discussion on this motion? All right, I'll do a roll call vote. Councilmember Wood, how do you vote?
Nay.
Councilmember Richardson,
Yes.
Councilmember Crossman,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Hess,
No.
Councilmember Palmer,
Yes.
Councilmember Kaminsky.
No.
Motion carries. Councilmember Crossman, congratulations. You're now the mayor pro for the next 2 years. All right, moving on, and we'll get together afterwards and we'll chat about some duties, responsibilities. But moving on to old business, we have confirmation of Mayor DePino's appointments to the boards and commissions. At this point, if council wishes to approve those appointments, they may. If they wish to deny and move on to just changing the methods as council has discussed in the past, they can also do that. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Hess.
I understand after listening from the last meeting, also from the study session, and I understand the issue. It was brought up last year about this process, but nothing was taken at that time. There was no action taken about it, no movement forward of how to go about through the process or anything else like that. I think we should approve this one, knowing that in February, it's going to be on the study session on how to go about through the process. But I think we should approve this one so our city can start conducting the business that it's supposed to be conducting and the things it's supposed to be doing. And then go with the new process moving forward. It's just odd to all of a sudden throw a wrench into a process when it was discussed earlier in the year, brought up by Councilmember Crossman of he had issues with that. And there's a few other council members that also said, why are we approving something that we weren't even part of the process? So I believe we should approve these individuals, have it done, and then for future ones, we work with the new process that we come up with in February.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, okay, I thought, yeah, so yeah, I move that we confirm the appointments, mayor's appointments to the advisory boards and commissions that were presented in December.
Is there a second to approve the appointments? Second by Councilmember Richardson. Discussion. Councilmember Richardson.
I do feel, understanding that the appointment policy and the way that it's handled, I think the mayor does understand how that works. I do feel like that there was some catching up in speed that we might need to have, not saying that we were misinformed, but again, like we said, we know that that was done well. We just, as we move forward, thank you for that opportunity. I think we have the option in February to discuss further, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I will not remove that if council still wants to make that change. Absolutely. Is there any further discussion? Councilmember Smith?
And I apologize because I did not bring my laptop tonight because I didn't realize it was going to be on here. So I can't remember the one board or commission that was blank. There was one applicant and I'm still curious. I'm just curious.
Salary Commission.
Salary commission. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
There is not a, I have not made an appointment decision on that
Okay.
decision yet.
Okay.
But there is a, they are due to meet later this year. And
Okay.
so there will be an appointment beside, before. Any other questions, comments? Councilor
I
Kaminsky.
think I asked this before, but under Arts Commission, Steve Crutchfield, he's already on the commission.
Correct, he is being reappointed,
Okay.
as is Sandy Hansen and Ann Gorman.
I'm sorry, one more question. Were there just 5 or were there more? And I apologize again. I just. Okay, there's the 4, but then there's the salary and that wasn't filled. I understand that when we were all discussing. Was there one more or? No? Okay,
Those were the appointments that were
okay,
made and yes,
thank
previously.
you. Okay, thank you.
All right, if there's no other questions, comments, we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote, starting with Councilmember Kaminsky. How do you vote, yea or nay?
Yay.
Councilmember Palmer,
Nay.
Councilmember Hess,
Yay.
Councilmember Smith,
Yay.
Councilmember Crossman,
Nay.
Councilmember Richardson,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood.
Nay.
1, 2, 3, 4 to 3, motion carries. Thank you, council. Well, I was gonna gavel for some reason. We don't do that. We'll go ahead and still keep it on for February, discuss different procedures or policies that council wishes. If they want to make any changes, we can do so, discuss it at that February council or study session, and later on in February, we can go ahead and adopt that. All right, thank you, council. Moving on to standing council committee reports. Public Safety Committee.
I just need to get something. Can we come back to me on that?
Sure. Moving on to Public Services Committee.
This week.
Not this week. All right. Finance Committee.
Not this week.
All right. Moving on back to the Public Safety Committee. We bought you about 10 seconds.
We had a good meeting and had everybody was there.
No. No.
Oh, that wasn't. The fire, in reference to fire, was not there, but we had everybody else there. We have 2 officer positions that the interviews are starting. One is an entry level, which if I remember correct, they're still kind of doing the interviews for. And then there's 3 that they have for lateral, and they are looking at, these are individuals that are coming from Kent, Tacoma, and one from Wichita, Kansas. So that'd be nice. We'll be able to get those 2 positions filled. Hopefully, we'll go with that. In reference to the 2% public safety tax, some of the ideas that Chief Carlson was talking about bringing up were utilizing the money for new and updating the equipment that we currently have. In other words, use it as capital expenses, not for something that has to be used over and maintained over and over as a budget item. So we're looking forward to that, to be able to update some of our equipment. New tasers is one of the big items, as well as helping put in money into the funds for the vehicles as well as body cameras, so that when it comes time to update those or buy a new one, it's already there. Let's see, then he talked about the ABLE training, which is free. It is one that's put on by Georgetown. It's helps, the main concept of it is helps with the wellness of the officers, helps them mentally on how to deal with things, as well as brings in accountability within the force itself, trying to develop a way to communicate if there's a bad apple without having repercussions and such. So it's looking forward to hearing more about the ABLE training and how that's coming about. Let's see, they're also looking at putting together a Yelm 101, similar to Yelm University. And it's to help with council members having an understanding of the various departments, as well as the residents and the residents of the community and surrounding areas. They have questions. And so it's going to start off with an in-person one, which will be done hopefully during our retreat. If not, then it'll be put together a little bit, presented to us, and then have it set up as a YouTube, so it's available on the city YouTube site. And then the officer wellness program, the company Lexipool, he talked about how that's really coming about, and that is they're making some changes and recommendations to the policies that are currently in place to help officers be able to get to issues such as if there's a shooting or something that an officer goes through, that they have somebody to talk to help them get through it. So we don't end up losing a good officer due to stress, not being able to talk about something. Court updates. The December, no passports were processed. That allowed them to go through all their old paperwork and get some things taken care of, updated. And other than that, there's not much else going on.
Thank you, Bert. All right, moving on to Mayor, City Administrator, and staff reports. Todd?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Just one addition to the department update. Officer Chris Seymour was selected as the Officer of the Year. They did a small ceremony there yesterday at lunch for him. It was very nice. I think Officer Seymour joined us about 3 years ago in the middle of COVID. He came to us from the State Patrol and he's turned out to be just an amazing addition to the police department. So very fortunate to get him in the court. One addition, in addition to that report, is their annual passport inspection audit is this Friday. That's an annual audit, so they're gearing up for that. In the public services world, they are getting prepared for the inclement weather. They have the snow plows ready to go, and they're way ahead of the game. So we're very excited for the weather to come, and we're going to be ready. Yep.
Is this splashback going to be open?
Nice skating. Nice skating. In the public services world, the administrative assistant position is open. It's currently open internally. I think it opens the 11th to the public, as well as a collections technician we're still trying to fill. And then a few of us attended the Chamber Business Lunch today. I think Councilmember Kaminsky was there. We heard a presentation from Habitat for Humanity on all the remarkable positive impacts they're having in Thurston County and Yelm. They have a 22 homes being built, a combination of townhomes and bungalows. So it was very good to hear from them and everything they're doing and how you can volunteer to be a part of Habitat for Humanity. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Todd. I've got two things. One is an update from PSE. They give us updates periodically about what's going on with their community, how many outages and all that. So I'm just going to read through that email real quick for a couple of highlights. The high wind advisory continues for our area, and I got this about an hour ago. The high wind advisory continues for our area until 10 p.m. tonight, with southwest winds continuing to come in at 30 to 45 miles per hour. PSE's outage map shows 77 outages in Thurston County right now, with a whopping 4,803 customers without power. That number has fluctuated greatly today. As soon as one power line was up, another went down. In total for Thurston County, we've had 27,569 customers that lost power at one point or another since the storm started. PSE has 12 additional contractor crews on the way to help with restoration. If there's any more information, they'll get back to us. And of course, if there's any permit for, especially inside the city limits here, we'll get that pushed out immediately. The other thing is tomorrow is the State of the Community with the Thurston County Chamber. I'll be giving this state of the address or State of the Community, excuse me, over at
St. Martin's.
St. Martin's. And it'll be videotaped, so folks can go ahead and watch it afterwards and all that. That's all I've got. Sure, Councilor Ross.
Quick question, due to the fact that we're about to have the extreme cold come in, do we have any plans in reference to having warming centers or something like that for those that lose power and need a place to be, as well as for those of ours that are housed in the area.
I don't believe we are as a city, but the Timberland Regional Library, they do have a warming center. They're one. I'm not sure if the senior center is another, but they have in the past. So
They do if it's a code. Rick, what's the code? The code, I can't remember.
It's called.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it is what it is.
I think the senior center does if they.
If and when that happens, so we will go ahead and push it out on our social media and let folks know where those warming centers are.
We don't do the community center anymore.
It will. Yes and no. We usually it's a third party that does it. We don't have anyone that we're contracting with right now to do it. Staff wise, it takes a lot to keep the community center open, especially more for labor costs than it is for anything else. So at this point, we don't overnight. Any other questions? All right, moving on to council member reports, starting with Councilor Wood.
I had a TCOM meeting. I also attended the meeting that Mr. Hess gave a glowing report on. Wish I had more to tell you, but it's good being on board with him. TCOM, we had an update on the radios. Things are moving along. They're upgrading their system. A couple of towers we're still working on getting active on JBLM. And other than that, they were really, they were happy to see me, but they were seemingly a lot more disappointed that Holly wasn't going to be there anymore, to be honest with you. But yeah, they
You're a good group.
made it clear that they were going to miss her.
Good. Thank you, Councilor Wood. Councilor Richardson.
Yeah, again, the forum today was well attended. Thank you guys for attending that and bringing your business cards. I appreciate that. Also, the senior center this week is Saturday's breakfast, right?
Unless, I mean, yes, unless it's Snowmageddon.
Oh, it's okay, unless there's snow.
No, I
But
think.
then Cody can bring the plows and get us there.
Better to plow those areas.
Make sure you plow for the seniors.
It's one of the main roads.
So I believe that's from 9 to 11. I'm excited to attend that and, yeah, good time today. Thank you guys. It's always good with the forum. The chamber's doing a good job and the director's doing a fantastic job. And congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilor Richardson. Councilor Crossman.
Nothing at this time.
Councilor Smith.
I also attended public safety, but have nothing else to share.
Councilor Hess.
Intercity Transit Authority is the only additional meeting that I attended. The new general manager or chief executive officer is Emily. I cannot remember her last name. She was the interim one, so it's a really good person that we have there. They're working very hard on trying to get. They're very close to being pre-COVID, so then they can start implementing all the stuff that they wanted to when COVID hit. In addition, at some point, I'm going to visit and see how the on-call rides are done. And the reason why is they're looking at, right now we have where for those that are elderly or need assistance, they can call for a ride and it has to be planned out. They're in the process of trying to get it so there's an app and make it so that instead of the 53 passenger bus being the only thing available, there may be another bus system available to us, a smaller one that people can actually plan for. And the reason of looking at that system is so we can see about getting it so that Yelm would be like a really good test center for it, because we are part of Intercity Transit Authority, but there's only one bus that comes in and you have to take it along the whole route. And it takes a long time just to get to Hawks Prairie or somewhere like that. So to be able to have something that community members are able to go onto their phone, onto the computer or whatever, and make an appointment. And the smaller bus comes in, grabs people and drops them off and then brings them back. I think that'd be a really good thing for those who are interested in utilizing mass transit, as well as for those that might only have one car to their household. So hopefully by the end of this year, we'll see something getting started with that. That's all I have.
Councilor Hess. Councilor Paul.
I had the solid waste advisory meeting and they talked about the 2024 legislative agenda. So some of those things were how we're going to recycle wind turbine blades as they age. A dilapidated RV disposal program, which they're working out the kinks on right now, which big part of that, as I recall, was going to come out of Department of Transportation registration fees that are being utilized by tow companies. So money that's already sitting there, pay people to bring in their dilapidated RVs. So hopefully clean up some of the city streets and especially bigger areas of Thurston County. Few other little things, county solid waste manager meeting every Monday morning. If it's a walk on the hill, that's going to be going on, if anybody's interested in looking into that. And then we also had a presentation from David Payne. He's the plant manager of the Spokane Regional Waste Energy Facility, a possible option for Thurston County for burning municipal waste to recover energy and lower the energy costs in this area. So down the road, it's an expensive plant to build, but it's something they're looking into. And at home, the homeless committee this morning, we're down a few members. I think probably be opening up some appointments for that here pretty soon, it sounds like, because one person just resigned, one person might be resigning, so something to look into in the future.
All right, Councilmember Kaminsky.
No new meetings.
All right. There's no executive session scheduled. Take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Smith. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.